My wife said she was working late every Friday, until a parent-teacher conference exposed the truth. For almost 8 years, I would have told anyone I had the perfect marriage. My wife, Lauren, was a middle school teacher. I worked as a project manager, and life felt normal. About a year ago, she started staying late every Friday, saying the teachers were preparing lesson plans for the following week. I never questioned it. Why would I? She'd always been honest with me. Sometimes she'd come home looking exhausted, apologize for missing dinner, kiss me on the forehead, and promise things would calm down after the semester ended. I believed every single word. Looking back, I wish I'd paid attention to the little things. The lesson plans she brought home never had fresh notes on them. The school emails she casually mentioned somehow never matched the dates she claimed she'd stayed late. But trust has a funny way of making obvious things look completely ordinary. Everything changed because of one simple parent-teacher conference. My nephew happened to be in the same school where Lauren taught, so my sister asked if I'd come with her after work because she was nervous about meeting several teachers. While we waited in the hallway, I smiled at another teacher I'd met once before and casually said, "Long week, huh? Lauren must be glad Friday planning sessions are finally over." The teacher looked at me with a confused expression. "Planning sessions?" she asked. My heart immediately started pounding. I forced a laugh and said, "Yeah, the ones every Friday after school." She slowly shook her head. "We stopped doing those almost 9 months ago." I just stood there, completely frozen. I honestly thought she'd confused me with someone else. But then 2 more teachers overheard us and agreed. Nobody stays every Friday anymore. My stomach completely dropped. I didn't confront Lauren that night. I couldn't. I kept replaying the conversation over and over, hoping there had to be another explanation. Maybe she was helping another department. Maybe she'd volunteered for something nobody else knew about. I wanted to believe that. The next Friday, she texted me around 4 o'clock saying, "Running late again. Curriculum meeting." Instead of replying, I drove past the school. The parking lot was almost empty. Her car wasn't there. I actually felt my hands shaking as I drove away. About 20 minutes later, I remembered she shared her location with me for emergencies. I'd honestly forgotten it was even turned on. I opened the app, and my heart absolutely sank. She wasn't at school. She was sitting inside a small cafe nearly 30 minutes away. I walked in expecting to find the worst. Instead, I saw Lauren sitting across from a man I'd never met. They weren't holding hands. They weren't kissing, but they looked comfortable. Too comfortable. She looked up, saw me standing there, and instantly went pale. The man quietly stood up and said, "I should go," Lauren whispered. "Please, let me explain." I couldn't even speak. Every excuse she'd given me for almost a year came rushing back into my head all at once. Finally, she admitted the truth. The man wasn't an affair partner. He was a career counselor she'd secretly been meeting every Friday. Because she wanted to leave teaching, she'd been offered a position with a private education company months earlier, but was terrified. I'd be disappointed because teaching had always been her dream. So instead of telling me the truth, she lied week after week, month after month. I wish I could say I felt relieved. I didn't. I was angry, not because she wanted a different career, but because she'd looked me in the eyes dozens of times and chosen the easier lie instead of the harder conversation. She started crying, apologizing over and over, saying every week it became more difficult to tell the truth because she'd already lied the week before. We spent months rebuilding the trust she'd broken. Looking back, I realized relationships rarely collapse because of one enormous secret. They slowly crack under the weight of dozens of tiny lies that seem harmless in the moment. The truth might start an uncomfortable conversation, but a lie can destroy years of trust. Before either person realizes what's happening, would you have forgiven Lauren after discovering the truth, or ended the marriage because of the lies? Yes or no?